Hi again, I am Mark Stewart reviewing Robin DiAngelo's White Fragility. We are at chapter 11 of 12, so we're almost done with it's a tough book. If you've seen any of my prior videos, there is very little logic in here, but let me give credit in one aspect to Ms. DiAngelo. She has candor and passion. Candor to say for, I think, the sixth time come chapter 11 about a seminar she's led that's gone bad. Now, she's still tenacious and will continue to do these seminars because that tenacity is based on the absolute sureness of belief that whatever I do to maybe mess with working relations between white and black, it's in the name of this equity that she has to be part of. So some destroyed relationships, which she can now probably expect from every third or fourth seminar she does. It might happen to some people, every one of them, but they don't announce it. This is a very bad trade-off. So there is one very interesting element of chapter 11, wherein she writes, white women, not people of color, have been the primary beneficiaries of affirmative action. Well, that is somewhat true. Affirmative action has helped a small percentage of individual blacks, but it has not helped the race as a whole. And affirmative action has been costly to some blacks, professionals typically who are meritorious and aren't seen that way. They don't get the respect of their merit because of an artificial elevation to those around them. There's also the problem that affirmative action has clearly hurt some displaced in colleges, in jobs, by affirmative action uplift. I'm not even getting to that. It's whether to assess affirmative action for African Americans. And it drives me to an ambivalent conclusion. Some good, some bad. My sense, though, is affirmative action has had actually only a tiny impact compared to our awareness and the economics. Good economies means more of employment for everyone. So that helped African Americans, and it helped, yes, even more women, because there are more women than African Americans. Now, in both groups, I think good awareness and good economy is more precipitous or more noticed when it's going from no job to some job, as many women experienced between, say, 1970 and 2000. Okay, by 2000, there was many employed women as men. So from zero to something is very big and noticeable. With African Americans who had no or very menial work to very good, high-paying career work, big deal too. But recognize that awareness, and with it I include tolerance, because we are tolerant people. So when we become more aware that, hey, the guy down the hall is just like me, we relate well. Good economy, good tolerance helped men just as well, white men just as well, but incrementally. If back in the 60s and 50s, white men were holding most of the professional jobs and they moved up a little bit in salary. So not so noticeable. But my point is, economics, more so than government action, helps everyone. Awareness, far more than government action, helps everyone. You didn't need Lyndon Johnson to put a few African Americans staffing federal offices. He did, to some credit, but more so, natural talent, employable, and needed by a growing economy, put African Americans in play. And once societies that had been segregated are now working together as equals, It heals race relations. Somewhat, not healed, but American men working with American women. Differences still, but on the same level of employment, allowed even that divide to be mostly overcome. Don't ascribe much to government programs, because if they do much at all in the first place, there's almost always a negative effect. It is what they call a pie that is not growing if you use government alone. They can change the slicing in the pie, but government's not going to grow it. American enterprise does and has, and that's been to the general benefit of all races. I'm Mark Stewart, Chapter 12.